Hello, everybody. My name's Dr. Robyn Mills, and welcome to Humanity's Heart. My intention for today is to engage, energize, and expand your heart. And I'm excited to introduce to you my special guest, Vincent Melling, coach and teacher who helps people use their intuition to create a vision for their lives from their heart, and then create the end results of that vision. Currently, he's writing a book called Getting in the Flow about how the universe supports us in this creation. Good morning, Vincent.
Good morning, Robyn.
It's lovely to have you here this morning, and we just discovered that we're both from Melbourne.
Yeah, lovely place. Yeah.
So I interviewed someone the other day and found out that they were 10 minutes from my house.
Wow.
So the universe is working in mysterious ways. So getting in the flow, it's a really important thing, isn't it? And I myself discovered this week that when you get in the flow, it comes to you quickly. What it is that you're asking for can come really quickly. What does getting in the flow mean to you, Vincent?
Well, the book was really about a little episode in my life in December, and I went to Uluru for the solstice there.
Oh, wow.
And when I got there, all these things started happening in kind of, one thing after another, coincidences. I had a prompt to call somebody, so I did, and that ended up in a beautiful walk around, the rock. Um, I was called by an old friend who asked me for a healing, which was some nice extra money that I had not anticipated. We went to Katajuta one morning, and because I'd already done the rock, that was perfect. And the walk looked to be, quite strenuous, and I didn't think I'd make it all the way round. But it was, especially because it had been hot when we finished that rock walk, and I'd been really exhausted. And it took me nearly a day to get over that. But this morning was cool and a bit cloudy, and I found myself doing the whole strenuous walk quite easily. But the crazy thing was that we kind of drove out of the national park. We saw something funny going on at the gate, and it turned out that at that time, the authorities there decided to close the national park for the next 2 or 3 days, and that nobody could get in. And so there was this kind of alignment of things where I'd walked around the rock, I'd done the walk at Katajuta,
Yeah.
and I'd managed to get it all done before the park closed. And then there was other things happened. I was just standing in the little town square that's there in the resort, and an old friend from Melbourne suddenly turned up, 5 yards away from me, and I couldn't understand it. And that happened a couple of other times. So there was this kind of sort of flow going around it. Um, and I was sat down on Sunday actually to write about all this uh, as kind of the inception of the book. And I decided to write a little bit about how this all came to be in the first place. And I thought that would be fairly boring. And then I saw how the flow was manifesting even at the phase that the idea of going there came to me, because I'd gone to Brisbane in January last year, and found myself in Brisbane for the day, and I'd planned to go on a bushwalk with a friend. And on the morning of the bushwalk, I called her and couldn't get hold of her, couldn't get hold of her, couldn't get hold of her. And in the end, I decided this isn't going to happen. And I started calling around all my other friends and relatives that I have in Brisbane. And one of those, he couldn't meet up with me, but we had a longish conversation. And he pointed me at the work of Evan and Stephen Strong, who had written about the importance of this solstice and what was going to go on there. And so that was flow for me, you know, uh, the whole idea that I was being supported in that. Uh, that was one aspect of it. There was a lot of stuff around COVID that actually kind of, from one angle, made it a little bit tricky, but from another angle, made it all possible.
And how
Yeah.
lucky have we been with COVID, really? Incredibly lucky. When we look at other parts of the world, Australia has done so well. We might have whinged a bit, but we've done so well.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people that have, suffered a lot from COVID. Uh, Actually, now you mention Australia because, I've got family in the UK, I've got friends in the UK, and they are suffering far more than we ever did.
Yes.
And they're doing the lockdown, they're doing it in winter. And their winter is, a lot colder than ours was. I mean, I started going out for a run every day during the lockdown. Um, Part of my vision around being healthy, and still do that. Uh, Another way where I'm in flow, but yeah, um, like I said, it made it all possible, and personally, because of the way that things have shifted and everybody's moved on to Zoom, and lots of opportunities have arisen for me out of that, including, getting established as a coach and teacher, that were not there in my life, at the beginning of the year.
So, blessings, there's been some positives that have come out of a terrible pandemic. There's certainly
Mm.
been some positives, and that will be true for me too, because I haven't used Zoom much up until now. And now I'm using it 4 or 5 times a day and connecting with people across the world. And I really love that, really love it. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's we're so lucky that it's happened at this time in where we're at
Yes.
technically. If this had happened 20 years ago, it would have been a lot more difficult.
It would have been way more difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Because the connection to family, we wouldn't have heard from our family unless we had a phone call. We wouldn't have
yeah.
heard from them for the year, which
Mm.
just would have been incredible, wouldn't it? I'd like to talk to you about visions because um, it's easy to have a vision, to think about where it is you want to go, but to actually manifest it and bring it to fruition, that's a whole new story. What suggestions do you have for people around that, Vincent?
Okay, well, the number one thing that is part of what I teach and coach, I will give the credit. It's based on the work of William Whitecloud, who wrote The Magician's Way a while back. But the most important thing is that the vision has got to come from the heart. So when we do this, we do it through a guided meditation. Um, this is really important because most people, when they set goals, when they do visions, they come from their mind, and they get ideas and visions that really aren't true for themselves, that are really reactions to the circumstances that they find themselves in.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, when you do that, that's kind of not aligned with what the universe wants for you, often, most of the time. And it's possible, but it's very difficult to get the outcomes that you're after. Um, so getting the vision right is the first thing. And then part of the discipline is, from the vision, we create a set of choices. They're kind of like goals, but the wording's different, the intention's different. And we do a daily visualization of that. And we have, 8 or 9 choices that we create. We have another 2 that are fundamental choices around around your life orientation. So every day we take a couple of these choices, we go into them and we look for what action is needed. And so we're moving forward on those actions all the time. It's a little bit like following the breadcrumbs. Now, as you didn't mention this, but I had a previous life as an IT project manager.
Mm-hmm. I didn't.
So that's okay. That means that my default way of operating is to come up with big plans. I still create plans because it's sometimes it's good just to have that sense of overview. But on a day-to-day level, I still do this work of saying, what's the next thing that I need to do with this? What's the next thing? Sometimes it's something in the plan. Sometimes it's something totally different.
So you're using that experience as an IT person to know that when you have to program a computer and tell a computer what to do, that it's not that different when you're looking at a vision, that you're taking it step by step and seeing what it is that needs to manifest.
Yeah, but you're taking it from intuition. So in the computer sense, you go step by step and it's very, very logical.
Yeah.
When you're working from intuition, you're going step by step, but you don't know what the step is, 3 steps down the track, and you may get something that is totally left field. A good friend of mine once got a step that was to go out and do some gardening, and it had absolutely nothing to do with the work she was trying to do.
Yeah.
But she did it anyway, and during the course of doing the gardening, her creative, receptive faculties opened up. She got this kind of download of ideas, and it was just perfect.
Yes,
And
it's
so
trust.
absolutely trust.
Trust. Yeah. Vincent, I'm wondering if you could imagine yourself towards the end of your life and you were looking back over your life, how would your heart say you've lived your life?
That's a difficult question. The first answer that immediately came to me is that it said you did your best. I think that's great. But I've kind of got this psychological program going inside me, and I know about it. And it's about, the doing your best can sometimes be like an excuse for not getting the results that you really want. So if I was looking back, I would say that I'd really kind of broken through that do your best thing and actually got on and not only created the results that I want in my life, but also helped other people create amazing results in their lives. And that's kind of really really what I'm after.
That's beautiful, because in that way you've added to humanity's heart. When I want to make a decision, I think about, is this going to move me towards my goal of being who I want to be, of making a difference in the world, or is it going to move me away? And when you speak about what brings that into your heart, that's for me that you've participated in the collective collaboration of humanity along the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
What makes your heart sing, Vincent?
That's a really good question. Helping people.
Yeah.
Writing, obviously. It's quite interesting doing this book because I am, taking a lesson out of my own book and writing it in the flow. So I'll sit down to write something and write something totally different. And it will be really interesting and great. Like I told you about writing about how all the stuff that led up to going to Uluru also had a flow that perhaps I didn't fully recognize at the time. Writing I write the occasional song. I'm not a great guitar player, but sometimes I do it, in when we're in small groups, meditation group, I do a practice called shaking meditation, and sometimes I do it there, sometimes, wherever, and there's a small group. What else? What else makes my heart sing? Yeah, I mean, over the past year, I have really created some things that I've been trying to create for a long while. And I remember doing those happy dances and being so wired up and so fired up when I created them. It was just amazing. So, yeah. And I guess the other thing is just being with family as well. I have 4 grown-up sons, 3 of whom live in Victoria, which is lovely. So, it's just beautiful seeing my little grandchildren. Yeah,
Grandchildren is the absolute joy. It's the gift that children give their parents, isn't it? They just melt my heart. They take layers and layers off. And I'm a way more open-hearted person. With every grandchild that's born, I just get softer and more cuddly, I think, along the way. My grandchildren, I'm so proud of my children, and my grandchildren can't do a thing wrong. They're just absolutely adorable. I love that. I just love it. I'm wondering who helped shape who you are.
Okay. Well, I was going to answer that one way, and I'll start that way anyway, but I kind of just got this kind of nudge that I need to go a bit further back. But in my current phase of life, some years back, I went to the very first Mind Body Spirit Festival. I just felt really strongly called. Met a lady there who is a good friend to this day. Don't see that much of her anymore. But she was a great support to me from moving out of the life phase, or moving into this life phase of my journey in intuition. You asked me who else guided me. Obviously, William Whitecloud, and all the friends that I have met along the way, lots of them, that have supported all of that. But between those two, they've created the biggest changes in direction. But you asked about shaping my life journey. I'm digging back into my younger years, really, and trying to, I'm trying to think, but I think that I'm getting the sense that I kind of really drifted through childhood and adolescence and even into my early 20s. Without a strong direction, without a strong mentor. Lots of love, but lots of love, but missing that guidance. And in a sense, and this is quite interesting, being, in a sense, kind of being so overly respectful of authority that, on those times that authority became mentor, I wasn't open to it. But yeah.
So somewhere along that journey, someone stepped in and become a mentor for you.
Well, this happened, like I said, with the friend that I met at the Mind Body Spirit Festival.
Mm. And before the Mind Body Spirit festivals were rainbow festivals, and they went round from community to community before Body, Mind and Spirit.
Yeah. So I lived a kind of very conventional life, basically between the end of my uni years. I used to spend a lot of time in the bookshop, picking up, deeper books, spiritual books. Took up meditation for a while in my uni years, and then I kind of left all that behind me and slowly moved into a very conventional life, and was in that phase for 30 years plus. But yeah, when I think about it now, there was that calling in my early 20s. Yeah. And it kind of resurfaced later in life.
Yeah. I often think that opportunities for you to become who you're meant to be come several times in your life. And sometimes
I'm sure.
you don't hook into them, or you don't focus on them because you're distracted by other things. And certainly in my life, many times a similar opportunity would present itself in a different form. And sometimes I managed to see it, and sometimes it passed me by. And hindsight should be available earlier, really. Would make life a lot better, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So what I'm wondering is there something that, as we come towards the end of the interview, is there something that your heart wants to share that I haven't asked you?
No, there isn't. You've done a really good job, Robyn. I'll just say that's kind of what's next for me is, this is going to be a year of, it sounds terrible, a year of work, but there's so much joy in it that I'm really looking forward to it.
And this is part of your vision for the year, is the book. Is there other things in your vision?
Yes, there is a retreat centre. I have at this stage no idea about how it's all going to come to be. Yeah. But interestingly, I got some insights late last year, and now formed a little group of people that have got the same thing coming up in their visions. And so we're kind of networking and exchanging notes and exchanging energy and information, and we'll see where that goes. Books, along with books, go trainings. I would love to, love a new lady in my life. What else is there? There is some way that the music's going to come through, but I'm not clear on that yet. Yeah.
Well, you've just put it out there to the universe that you're ready for a new lady to step in. So
yeah.
There you go. You've put that one right out there for the universe to hear.
Yeah. Yes, that's good.
Thank you very much for your time today, Vincent. And I'll look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robyn, for inviting me on this session.
Pleasure. My name's Dr. Robyn Mills. I hope that you've learnt something from today's discussion. Until we meet again, may your heart beat to the rhythm of humanity's heart. Bye for now.